Have you ever tried a crafting technique for the first time and then thought, why haven't I been doing this sooner? Hi, I'm Julia with Julia Sue's Stamping, and I'm so glad you're here to hang out with me for a little bit today. Today's video is all about the polished stone technique. I'm simply going to be using ink pads and cardstock that are your plain ink pads and cardstock. Nothing specialty required for this project. And believe me when I tell you that this technique is that good. Because the best part is that you use whatever you already have in your crafting space. Your inks, your papers, your stamps, you're set. If you're watching the premiere, please hop over into the chat and say hi. I'd love to see you there. And if you're watching the replay, please leave me a comment. I'd love to know that you stopped by. Well, before we dive in, I'd really like to ask you to please give the video a thumbs up, hit subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, follow me on social media. All these things are absolutely free and make a very big difference to my teeny tiny business. So I appreciate your help and your support of my business so very much. All right, I think we should get started. How about you? Let's go. Before we touch a single ink pad, quick heads up, there is a free downloadable PDF tutorial for this technique on my blog. The link is down below in the video description, and I put it together so you can enjoy the process now and recreate it later without having to pause the video. So let's start now with the setup. I'm going to be protecting my work surface using an older Specialty Designer Series paper holder. This has a little bit of cardboard inside for some support. The plastic sleeve on the top helps make cleanup really easy. Now, glass mat would also be a fantastic surface to use for this technique and to protect your work surface. But with my studio lights, the glare didn't play very nicely on camera. So hey, this is plan B, and it's a really great option if you don't have the glass mat or if you want an easy, low-stress way to protect your crafting table. So let's go ahead and talk about color. This part makes everything easier. I'm most comfortable working with analogous colors for this technique. So I grabbed my color wheel and I chose Pool Party, Lost Lagoon, and Shaded Spruce to use. Colors that sit next to each other on that color wheel are going to blend beautifully and not give a muddy look. This next step might look a little bit on the messy side, but I want you to trust the process here. I'm going to be opening up my ink pads, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get an acrylic block right here, and I'm going to get it nice and inky, starting with the lightest color. Now that I have those all inked up, I'm going to dampen a cotton ball with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. The percentage here doesn't really matter. Just use what you have at home. But the higher the percentage, the faster the drying is going to be, and it will help your paper stay nice and flat. So this doesn't include any stamping at this point. We're just going to be doing some dabbing. I'm going to dab the cotton ball that has the isopropyl alcohol on it into the acrylic block area, and now I'm going to dab it onto my basic white cardstock. I'm going to turn the cotton ball so that the pattern on the paper stays organic. It doesn't look repetitive. Light pressure, scattered placement, don't overthink it. And I just get it all around Layering is really where this type of technique is going to come to life. I'm going to repeat the process then with the Lost Lagoon. Picking up the color from the acrylic block, and then I'm going to be adding it to the basic white cardstock art piece. The colors are going to dry lighter, so don't worry if it's feeling kind of bold. You can always go back with lighter shades. So I do have one quick housekeeping tip before we keep going with this, and this is going to help this technique stay fun and frustration-free. You want to be sure you keep the rubbing alcohol away from your ink pads. Avoid mixing your colors on the block, and then that way everything is going to stay clean and true. Now for that shaded spruce, where I will do the least amount probably, and what I'm going to do is try to fill in any of the spaces where I still see white. Building the color and keeping it fun to create some custom patterned paper. And in a lot of ways, this looks like the gorgeous paper that we get from Stampin' Up! Sometimes. Remember, it will dry a little bit lighter, so I'm not worried about it here. And that alcohol dries so fast. It's pretty much dry right away. Just like that, then, you've created custom patterned paper. And that's why I absolutely love techniques like this. One background can become so many different projects. And then once it's dry, just turn it into cards, die cuts, sentiments, backgrounds, whatever you're inspired to make. And here's some cards with what I created. This first card is where I realized, okay, this technique is a keeper. I absolutely love how soft and organic the background feels. No two spots are ever the same. And this one shows you how beautiful the polished stone technique is all on its own, even before you add stamps or dies. Inside, I just have a little bit of basic white surrounded with some Highland heather. Isn't this gorgeous? This is using the Sweet Bug stamp sets and dies. I also have a little bit of the Nested Essentials in there too. So here's another one. This is the same exact technique of the polished stone and a completely different feel. And that is what I love the most about this technique. The background does all of the heavy lifting. I wanted to show how it's going to coordinate with pretty much any designer series paper that you want as well. This is the, I think it's called Mixed Patterns, and I used a Friendly Foliage stamp set and dies to create this one in a fun fold card. I love it. This one might just be my favorite, or at least today it is. I was really surprised at how well this technique works as a bold focal point instead of just a background. How fun is this? So don't be afraid to let the little inky pieces take center stage. Simple layers, just let it shine. This one is using the Valentine Kisses stamp set and dies. This card is proof that this technique plays nicely with everything. I love how it adapts to all different styles, from soft and subtle to rich and dramatic. And it's a really great reminder that one technique can stretch across so many card designs. For this one, I use the Wonderful Thoughts stamp set and dies. I experimented with yet 4 other color combinations. Isn't that gorgeous? And I haven't turned these into cards yet. So these are perfect examples of how you can create backgrounds first and then decide later what they want to become. I would absolutely love to know which one of these fun color combinations is your favorite. What colors will you use when you do this technique? All right, I hope you see what I mean. One technique and endless possibilities. I absolutely love doing fun projects like this because it helps us remember that we don't always need more stuff, all right? It's just fun to use the things that we have. Please remember, I have put together a free downloadable PDF tutorial just for you. The link is down in the description, so please be sure you check it out. I would love for you to have some fun and recreate some of these projects for yourself. And if you do, please tag me. I would love to see what you create. If you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be your crafting cheerleader and help you out with different techniques and projects just to help cheer you on. And please give the video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, follow me on social media. I appreciate your support. So I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day today and that you have a chance to get inky. Bye.